Hello, and welcome to Time to Dice Character Creation, where we make your favorite fictional characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Today we are continuing our Month of Murica celebration with James Barnes, aka Bucky Barnes, or the Winter Soldier. Bucky was the best friend of Steve Rogers until he died fighting Hydra. He was revived as the Winter Soldier, a super soldier assassin controlled by the very organization he once fought against. As the Winter Soldier, Barnes has the usual Marvel hero super strength, durability, and speed, but he also has a cool bionic arm that packs quite a punch. So beware of spoilers, and without further ado, let's get started. As the Winter Soldier, Bucky may have been a monster, but he is a human, and as a human he gets 8 hit points and a boost to strength and dex. For our heritage, this will be the first inheritor of the title Captain America who doesn't get shield block from their class, so we will pick up the versatile heritage to take a general feat, shield block, from our ancestry instead. For our background, we are going to take Hired Killer. As the Winter Soldier, Bucky wasn't really for hire, but he's killed a lot of people for a lot of people, so I think it fits. This background gives us another boost to strength and dex, as well as training in both stealth and underworld lore. We also pick up the Terrain Stalker skill feat, letting us sneak around without a stealth check, in either snow, underbrush, or rubble. Barnes has set up a sniper post in all of these locations, so pick what you think your GM will throw at you most. Alright, so what does it take to make Barnes? Well, first, the Captain America skill set ensures that we have to have the strength to throw a punch, the dex to dodge a punch, and the con to tank the punches. Plus, we need to know our way around the shield. Next, Barnes is a trained assassin, and all the tools that go with it. He's seen using guns, his fists, knives, bombs, short range, long range, anything he really needs to get the job done. And finally, let's see if we can't get a bionic arm in the build. Seems like a fun thing to do. I know all that may have sounded like I was describing a fighter, and that's definitely a way to build Barnes, but I don't think it's the best way. Instead, we're going to go rogue. Rogues have less hit points than fighters at only 8 plus con per level, but they make up for it by being expert in perception and fortitude and will saves. I'd like to see a fighter get that. What's that? Fighters get expert in perception and in 2 will saves as well? Well, do they get trained in all simple and martial weapons? They do? Expert? Well, rogues get trained in proficiency in up to light armor, so there's no way a fighter could get that. No way. Fighters in light, medium, and heavy armor? What is even the point in going rogue? Oh yeah, training in stealth plus another skill based off of our racket, plus 7 plus our intelligence skills of our choice. Yep, that'll do it. In all seriousness, Barnes has been alive just as long as Steve Rogers, but has been active all that time learning new ways to assassinate people. He has a few tricks up his sleeves. Alright, let's talk attributes. Strength and dex will be our highest stats. One will start at plus 4 and the other at 3. It's up to you which order they go in based on whether you want to focus more on the unseen sniper part of this build or the punchy with a vibranium arm. The choice is yours, but we are going to go with strength, and if you don't agree, you're wrong. Constitution and charisma are tied for next. You can take big hits and you are intimidating. I don't think we are treading new ground here. Intelligence and wisdom are both at 0. Most of your existence has been under mind control, so what information you have is a tad bit outdated. For our skills, we get a lot of them, but we actually only get legendary in stealth and athletics for this build. This is to make room for being master and more skills. Athletics is for all the fun our bionic arm gives us, and stealth because snipers tend not to announce their presence. As for our master skills, we have acrobatics for the occasional backflip or parkour, deception for feints, intimidation because, well, yeah. Lore, underworld, and society for his criminal connections, and thievery when you want to get the MacGuffin with a more subtle approach. We have expert in medicine. It's hard to go to the hospital when you're the UN's most wanted. And finally, we have training in crafting, diplomacy, and survival because we had extra skill increases and these seem the most relevant. Once we get to level 1, we are going to immediately offset our lackluster hit die with toughness, meaning we are only losing out on 1 hit point per level over the more martial classes now. Unless they also took toughness, which almost all of my builds do. We also get the class feat Nimble Dodge to get a plus 2 circumstance bonus to AC. This doesn't stack with the raised shield and we can't shield block with it, but it does free up our actions in case we want to do something else. We also get sneak attack, adding an extra d6 to any of our agile or finesse weapons or unarmed attacks, or ranged weapons when the foe is off guard. And the surprise attack feature makes our foes off guard if they haven't acted yet, and we rolled stealth or deception for initiative. Finally, the Ruffian Racket lets us expand our sneak attack to apply to all martial weapons that do a d6 or less, and all simple weapons that do a d8 or less, letting us sneak attack with both our shield or bionic arm, not that we have one yet. At level 2, we get a bionic arm with the Sterling Dynamo dedication, with a power driver dynamo dealing 1d8 bludgeoning damage, and the shove trait so we can send enemies flying right into 3rd level, where we take the incredible initiative general feat, letting us get the drop on our foes, and the deny advantage feature, ensuring that they don't get the drop on us. At level 4, the strong arm feat lets us add 10 feet to the range increment of any object we throw. If only we had something frisbee-shaped and indestructible to withstand our throws. Anyways, level 5 gives Gloom Seer, which gives us low light vision. You're the Winter Soldier. Winter has the shortest days. Get used to working at night. We also get Weapon Tricks, granting us expert proficiency in weapons. At level 6, the Gang Up feat means we can team up with Steve to take on Iron Man in a fight. That, while cool and emotional, also seems pretty impossible when you remember that he can fly and shoot you from orbit. And if Iron Man does realize he can fly and shoot you from orbit, level 7 helps you run away with the Fleet feat. We also do increased damage with weapon specialization, boost our perception to master with perception mastery, and increase our reflex saves to master, and count successes as critical successes with invasive reflexes. Level 8 gives us a little more training with the shield with ricochet stance, letting any object we throw bounce back to our hands after the strike, as long as we are within the first range increment. At level 9, the Clever Improviser feat lets us add half our levels to all of our untrained skill checks. Debilitating Strikes lets us cripple our foes we hit with sneak attack, either enfeebling them or cutting their speed by 10 feet per round. And Rogue's Resilience bumps our fortitude saves up to expert, and count successes as critical successes. In one level, we boosted our offenses, defenses, and utility. If you looked at Debilitating Strike and thought to yourself, man, I wish there were more ways that I could cripple my foes, then I have 2 suggestions for you. The first is therapy, but the second is much cheaper and much more instantly gratifying, and that is Vicious Debilitations at level 10, letting you grant your enemy weakness 5 to bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, or make them clumsy for a round. At level 11, we get Rogue's Expertise, upgrading our class DC to Expert. That's it. At level 12, the Reactive Interference class feat lets us disrupt enemies' reactions with our own. This requires an attack roll if the foe is higher level than you, but you are the only Captain America who started off fighting Captain America, and thus are the only one that can prevent a shield block. At level 13, our training pays off, granting us Master Weapon Proficiency, Legendary Reflex Saves, Expert Armor Proficiency, and Legendary Perception, and that's all on top of the Bounce Back Ancestry feat, letting us recover from dying without gaining the wounding condition. No one in Marvel stays dead. At level 14, Spring from the Shadow is perfect for switching from long range to short range fighting, letting us stride up to our speed and strike an opponent that we are hidden and undetected to. And to sweeten the deal, we are still hidden to that foe until after the attack is made. 15th level lets us crawl up to half our speed with the Skitter General feat. Greater Weapon Specialization lets us do increased damage, and Double Debilitation lets us inflict 2 different crippling injuries on a foe with the same sneak attack. Seriously, get some help, people. I'm sorry to worry about you. At level 16, we can submit our spot as Strongest Arm in Marvel with the Far Throw class feat, having our penalty from each consecutive range increment when we throw a weapon. This, combined with Strong Arm class feat, we can throw a Meteor Shield 240 feet with only a -5 penalty. Good luck getting it back, though. At level 17, we are going to pick up Weapon Proficiency to pick up Expert Proficiency in a surprise weapon that we will cover later. We also get the Agile Mind feature, boosting our will saves and counting our successes as critical successes. Level 18 gives us a massive damage boost with the powerful Sneak class feat. With this, whenever we roll sneak attack damage, all of our dice lower than 3 becomes 3s. When the Winter Soldier shoots, he shoots to kill. Rogues reach the true Angel of Death status at level 19 with the Master Strike feature. With this, the first time each day we make a sneak attack against a creature, they have to make a fortitude save. On a failure, the creature becomes paralyzed for 4 rounds, and on a critical failure, they can be unconscious for an hour or die, based on how merciful we are feeling that day. Let's hope we are feeling a bit more Captain America and a little less Winter Soldier. We also get Numb to Death, meaning the first time each day we get brought up from dying, we gain additional hit points equal to our level. And finally, at level 20, we pick up Enduring Debilitations. With this, any sneak attack we make that inflicts a debilitation, the duration of that debilitation is extended to 1 minute. Take out Sam's wings or maybe break Steve's spine. I think the Hydra brainwashing might be coming back. Now moving on to my least favorite part of any rogue build, the skill feats. Once again, in the interest of not making this video too much longer, we are only going to cover the highlights. Our stealth feats like Foil Senses, Legendary Sneak, and Shadow Mark ensure that we can find our target without them finding us. Feats like Too Angry to Die and Terrifying Resistance turn our menacing figure into a defensive powerhouse. An athletics feat like Quick Climb, Rapid Mantle, and Powerful Leap ensures that when it's time to get out of dodge, nothing can stop us. Now let's take a second to cover Bucky's wide arsenal so that we can be equipped to fight in all situations. We've already covered the Captain America shield in Sam Wilson video, but here it is again in case you missed it. Winter Soldier uses knives several times while on screen. For these, we are going to use throwing knives so that we can use them both in melee and range. Despite doing less damage than either our bionic arm or a shield, these knives have the agile trait, meaning they are more accurate if used to supplement our main strikes each round. Plus, the thrown trait means that we can use these as mid-range option in a pinch. But for even longer range options, we can replicate the Winter Soldier's pistol with the slide pistol, which lets us make several shots without needing another hand for reloading, meaning we can safely wield it while wielding another one-handed weapon. And if you don't care about having another hand free, the long arrow repeater is the best Pathfinder has for a submachine gun. That is unless you have a nice GM who is willing to allow Starfinder content, in which case the auto-target rifle from Field Test 4 fits perfectly. And finally, if we want something to replicate a grenade launcher, we picked up weapon proficiency so we can get expert proficiency in the Barricade Buster, letting us use the raising trait to deal increased damages to structures and objects like shields and buildings. Now that we are done with that, let's finish with pros and cons. For our pros, we have a variety of different options to specialize in, both short and long range, meaning we can take out our target from anywhere on the battlefield. And to better capitalize on our long-range performance, being legendary and stealth means that with a little luck, we can take out a foe without them even knowing that we hit them. And finally, sneak attack on our attacks means we can pretty consistently outdamage others in a damage race any day. However, we do have a couple of cons. First and foremost, maybe one of the reasons we need to specialize in long-range combat is our low hit points. If foes do get close to us and we can't take them out or escape quickly, we might be in trouble. Secondly, while we do inflict heavy damage, most of that damage is our sneak attacks, which deal precision damage, and there are many a foe who either can't be caught off guard or simply immune to precision damage, leaving us out in the rain. And finally, a low wisdom score means a low will save, and that means we may have trouble resisting Hydra mind control. But hey, that's just us playing the character, right? Alright, let's really finish up by comparing Bucky to the two other Captain Americas we've made. First off, you'll probably notice that even though we have achieved the same AC with a shield, we have a fraction of the hit points of the other Captain Americas. And other than our reflex, our saving throws are the worst. As well, meaning as far as defenses go, we are definitely a glass cannon. But that's okay, because when you look at our offenses, you see where this build truly shines. We have more accuracy than Sam, though not quite as much as Steve. And when we do hit, sneak attack ensures we will be doing way more damage than most marshals. And that's not even considering the fact that our powerful sneak ensures that we can't low less than a 3 on any of our sneak attack dice. Plus, we can use many of our other weapons to fight a foe before they can get into range of us. Overall, this build wants to finish fights much quicker than the other two. If it does get caught in a more drawn-out fight, it will quickly start wearing thin. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to make sure you are notified when we put out new builds. Or maybe when we do something other than character builds for one. Who knows?